Hey everyone, this is Bruno Falcone. I am here today with my very good friend, Greg. Now, Greg, it is such an honor for me to work with you because you have absolutely disrupted the health and mental health industry with your programs and the way that you help. And it is very inspiring. This is an off-camera conversation, and I cannot wait to tell a little bit more about what you do. Like in your words, would you mind telling everyone how you really make that difference into the health industry?
Well, it's more about bringing people in the community. We help them, obviously with our our therapists. We want to teach them skills and how to get in the community. So our workers then take them to the community. So sort of these sort of activities they want to do, we've got our workers to help them get them there. And as a B Corp that we are, we fund the price out of the business, not from the government, to get them there.
That is amazing. I mean, like taking a step back, exactly is it mental health patients?
Mental health, people with disability.
That where they might want to do like extracurricular activities or...
Like, say for example, someone wants to go to a AFL match. We'll take them to an AFL game. We'll have our joy makers, our support workers we call, which are the joy makers, send them to these games. They'll either meet us there or we'll take them there with our support workers, their own cars.
Oh, that's amazing. And I mean, like, this is such a giving type of work that you do. Is this coming from a moment in your life that you felt you wanted to do something like this in the world? Or where does that passion come from?
Yeah, so my CEO, who is also my wife, she's been a carer, been in the industry for over 30 years. She's also been a carer for most of her life. I also have a cousin and some family relatives that also have disability.
Okay.
So I'm seeing how their informal supports have cared, and they need a break themselves. So they're sort of driven where the service to go to provide that care when the carers need a break.
Well, exactly. And I mean, like, until when you started, is there more people? Is that a service that it's already in the market?
Yes. So we have the NDIS in Australia, which is a government system which funds the supports for, say, for example, they've got therapies supports for people with disability. They've got support workers, funding for them to take them out in the community, or they've got, like, say, for example, funding for that house cleaner or a lawn maintenance guy just to make sure their home is cared for.
Yeah.
So the government funds that.
And I mean, on your end, how are you, making a difference? Because I know, obviously, that, your work is so important and crucial within the health industry. It would be more of a curiosity. What is one of those things that really make a difference from anybody else that's doing that?
Well, we are a B Corp, which is a group of companies around the world who provide that social justice environmental supports for all of us. So I'm trying to think, there's a lot of companies out there that want to make a difference. They're not a company for not-for-profit. They're companies that want to make a difference to people in society. So we also look at it as part of a social trader that we're also a part of. So really the point of difference is we can.
That is really and I mean, that is really what I know that it is about.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked the question.
Yes.
Because I know that there would have been, like you said, your life involvement within that certain industry, your wife, your family members. So it's almost like something that you see almost broken in the system, and then you guys took over.
We're here to fix the problems.
And fix it, right? So that is absolutely amazing. And, how many years have you been doing this for yourself?
So myself, I've been involved in 9 years. Started the journey as a registered counsellor.
Yes.
So helping a lot of people in the counselling space. And now I've got to the stage where I think it'll be more beneficial if you can hire other people that actually can do the job, so I can use my skills to actually build on these programs and bring other people in to be able to provide that care.
Yeah. So what were you doing before?
I was actually a public servant for 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and also was an accountant in my early 20s.
There you go. I was an accountant.
Yeah.
In the 20s. I guess one of the questions will be, going from in your journey. So you were an accountant,
Yes.
then a public servant.
Yeah.
And then, business is different.
Oh, yeah.
Entrepreneurship is different. So what made you take that leap? Because obviously I understand that you care and it's a great cause, but when you're an entrepreneur, I feel like that's almost your own personal journey.
Yes.
So what made you take the step to jump into entrepreneurship?
I think it's more about what we mentioned earlier. It's about changing lives, doing something that no one else is doing, creating things that no one's created. And then we can use a business and scale that business to be able to help more and more people.
And that's why. And I think that's the secret almost for people that are entrepreneurs. When I speak to a lot of people that, let's say, they don't have a business, a lot of these people, they see, the glitter, the perfect and beautiful times. And, right now we are actually in Bali. The both of us are attending a seminar. We are in Bali and it's beautiful. It's such a beautiful view,
amazing.
But then at the same time, for 10 hours today, we haven't been on the
No.
Like we enjoyed ourselves afterwards, but then we've been working really hard for like 10 hours.
Absolutely.
And nobody sees that, right?
No.
How do you feel? Do you hear people talking to you that are not entrepreneurs about your successes? Like, how do you feel everybody is reacting to the tremendous success that you have?
Well, I think a lot of when people are not in the entrepreneurial space, they would probably more think that I'm on a holiday all the time. I'm traveling up the east coast of Australia. I'm going overseas. They're thinking I'm on a holiday. But actually, at the end of the day, none of this is a holiday. This is all about making that improvement. And we're here in Bali right now. We're not here in Bali for a holiday. We're here to learn. We learn to engage with fantastic people like yourselves.
Oh, thank you.
And other people in the room to learn from them and to grow together.
Yeah.
It's not about like we experience the stroke of tall poppy syndrome. We're here to learn. We're here to lift each other up.
Yeah. How did you start the self-improvement journey? Because that's another one. Again, we're describing little steps, multiple paths that a lot of people might not even know the existence of, or how to even jump in that road. So not only you're an entrepreneur, not only you're doing something different to change the world, you also jumped onto a self-improvement journey. How did that happen? When did that happen?
Well, always been thinking about self-improvement all the time throughout this journey of being in business. But a year ago, I came across a man named JT Fox. He was mentioning at the time, he's the world #1 business and wealth coach. So I met JT a year ago. He has a no BS approach, very forward, very direct, making sure you hear what you have to hear, not what you want to hear. You need to hear, not what you want to hear. So you want to hear. You doesn't mean that everything is okay.
No. It just comes across. It says what you need to hear, sometimes what you don't want to hear, because it's so direct.
Exactly.
Most people want to hear it. That's right.
Tough love. And we all love JT. Everyone on the network, and obviously Bruno himself. We all love JT.
I was looking for a long time for that figure in my life, and I was so lucky because of what I do in my profession. It does allow me to be with a lot of successful people. It does.
It's right.
Obviously, beautiful suits, success, confidence. It just goes hand in hand.
Exactly.
So I'm very lucky for that part. But then having somebody like JT that opened up his own network, his own world, the self-improvement world to me with that no BS approach, like you said, definitely changed everything.
Absolutely.
And I think almost like everybody that I know or that know me has mentioned something about it. They're like, what happened?
Yeah.
It's almost like overnight, everything changed. So was JT was your first jump into the pool of self-improvement?
Absolutely. I would say probably the early place I've gone to for self-improvement is the real deal.
Yeah.
He
Have you got any stories that of something not having gone right within the self-improvement?
I grew up in a family that was not entrepreneurship. So working with my wife, who is absolutely amazing, working together, we're an amazing team to achieve what we need to achieve.
Yeah.
But the thing is with that, we've had no mentors to go through this journey. So we've made some mistakes, we've corrected the mistakes, we learned from that. But I think what the game changer has been definitely in the last 12 months has been actually having someone there to feed off of, is this the right way to go? Can you check this for me? Is this right? Give me some tough love feedback.
Yeah. And I mean, can you tell me, and obviously through JT, you had the chance to jump on stage, thousands of people in front of you. How was that experience? And how it made you feel being in front of so many people, but yet confident and you knew what you were talking about?
I think it's just rising the occasion. You've got to go out there. You've got to give it your all, 110+%. But getting on stage is such a rush, especially when you're so passionate about what I am about our industry.
Yeah.
And everyone needs to know what your Heart to Heart, which is the business name that we work with, is doing out there.
And that's what I was about to ask you, like, because your Instagram handle is Greg Hart, and I wanted to ask you a little bit more about the name. So where does that come from?
So the Greg Hart on my personal Instagram. So you got the Greg Hart, it's opposite my name, and the H is the end, so Heart to Heart. So obviously, look clearly the TV show everyone of our age knows all about and older. So we want to make sure it's your Heart to Heart, not the Heart to Heart TV shows. Your Heart to Heart. We're all hard.
I love that. How did you come up with the concept, with the idea?
Well, actually, to be honest with you, back in the day when the business first started, we were called Heart to Heart Counselling because we started the business as just a consultancy counselling practice for people with disability. So we diversified our supports and made more and more support. So obviously we brought in some more group activity programs, put some respite programs. We provided more therapy services like psychology and occupational therapy on top of the counselling we provide. Yeah. So you can't call a business heart-to-heart counselling when you provide these other supports.
Of course.
So you have to sort of rebrand the business to make sure everyone knows we're not just counselling anymore, we're all these other things.
Yeah, and did that rebranding came like in the last year, or was it something that you worked through these years?
It's been in the last 2 years we've had this, that all of this has been transpiring. But we've just launched a new website right now, and JT Fox has given me his tick of approval.
So what's the website? Let's hear it.
So it's www.your, heart, not the organ, the name, HART, number 2, heart again, not the organ, the name, .com.au.
Love it. I'm so excited to have a look at that. Now, one thing that I wanted to ask you, because I did see you speaking on stage again, like thousands of people in front of you, and you seem so confident, you seem so within your realm, and obviously like you had other emotions before, but then on stage you were brave.
Yeah.
Now, can you tell a little bit about that to all of the entrepreneurs that are listening to this, and give a little bit of how to guide on how to feel at ease when jumping on stage?
Well, I think you've got to be in the moment when you're on stage. You've got to have a feel of what you're going to say. Not exactly what you're going to say. You've got to have an open mind, because especially being interviewed on stage, you don't know what questions are being thrown out there. So I think you just got to be calm.
Yeah.
Obviously, people are out there. You don't want to just focus on, oh my God, there's 10,000 people out there. You just want to make sure, okay, just because you've got a few people out there, not tens of thousands of people, thousands of people, and you just want to tell people what they need to hear.
Yeah, yeah. And have you done any, let's say, like breathing exercises or anything like that, or you just
I just
jumped on stage?
I just visualize it and try to think about it, try to stay calm, and just go out there and make it happen.
I know that there's one thing that has changed my experience drastically, and I felt like it gave me confidence, and it was practicing what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So I thought that by the time, so I was practicing the stories. There's certain stories that are part of you.
Yeah.
That if you want for people to get to know you a little bit better, or if you want for them to get to know that part of your heart and your soul, there are stories that define. So, for example, me, one of the stories is how my grandmother tailored my first suit.
Oh, wow.
That's one of the beautiful stories that are part of my life.
Fantastic.
And I will always remember that.
Yeah.
But this story, what I was doing before jumping on stage, I think I was kind of rehearsing a bit the stories, not because I don't know them, but to make sense of them, like tell them in a way that were digestible to most people. So that, for me, was like, I think if I have a tip to anybody out there that is doing public speaking, practicing something that you feel confident and comfortable to talk about, it's something that makes you feel more prepared. So by the time that I was on stage and I was asked a question, all of a sudden I have my go-to stories that I knew what to say. Yeah. Did you do something similar yourself?
I was actually going to mention to you as well that you actually interviewed Vince Vaughn, an absolute A-list celebrity, and you actually had his JT Fox, our amazing coach. He arranged for the fittings to be done, and Bruno's magic came out, and Bruno actually gave a coat to Vince Vaughn on stage in front of 1,000 people in Brisbane.
Yeah, no, it was pretty nerve-wracking. And you don't know this story, but literally JT found his size, his jacket size. So it wasn't even his shirt size. It's off the rack size, right? And then what I did like a ton of research, because obviously that's America, that's different than Australia.
Yes.
I couldn't go to my equivalent size on my own rack and measure it.
Yeah.
I had to literally like Google find it anyways. So I find all of the sizes are the American sizes, and I took the actual measurements and made a jacket out of it.
Wow.
So it wasn't actually me measuring Vince Vaughn. I just done a ton of research about it.
Yeah.
But the fun part of that I don't think I've said that on camera yet. I was petrified because I did the research, but it's third party research.
Yeah.
And then I promise, by looking at the pictures of Vince Vaughn, I made my assumptions. I promise.
Yeah.
So I was like, it seems to have lost some weight from this year. So I was like, Vince Vaughn 2024, what does it look like today?
Yeah.
So I was looking at the pictures and I was like, that's too little for the waist, so too much for the waist. That's too little for the chest, too much for that. The length of the sleeve needs to be longer. So I've applied the research and my experience, my 10 years of experience.
Yeah.
But anyways, it was nerve-wracking. I was on stage and JT was like, he told me, put the jacket on Vince at the start of the interview. And I was like, but what if it's wrong? All of my credibility goes out the window, right? Do it now. So I did it, put it on, and I was like so happy that fitted in like to perfection. Like, he was so happy. He was happy.
I was going to say, what feedback did you get after Vince had to put it on?
Yeah, like he was such a warm and kind person.
Oh, he is.
I was not expecting to that level. I knew he was a gorgeous person, but in person, it's just like mesmerizing. You know, when they say, charm, and you never expect to what level, and it was just absolutely incredible. Yeah, so to be honest, the feedback that I think I will always remember is how he understood and perceived that everything I'm doing today is the result of the love and the attention that I've had from my grandmother and her ways that, quote unquote, old ways are the best ways to do what I do. So the tailoring world is an old world, but then I'm bringing it to the modern world and with my spin and with my touch. But I wouldn't be here if it wouldn't have been for the love and attention I brought from my grandmother. And I think Vince Vaughn really understood that, and he was actually not afraid to say that on stage.
Yes.
So that was gorgeous. What was your experience with Vince Vaughn when you were with him? Because you did ask him a couple of questions. So how was that experience?
It was a wow factor. You've got someone who's very well famous for what he does as an A-list celebrity actor, but asking him the question about mental health. How do you deal with mental health worldwide? What's the issues around it? And he was talking about not just dwell on it too much. We need to sort of find something to get you out of that mindset with mental health. And having hear that, and he was amazing. That he asked me what I thought about it as well. It was very humane, and at the end, which was totally blowing me off field, he says, "Oh, we're gonna have a hug," which was took me off guard. Like someone as famous as Vince Vaughn, it must have touched him somewhere on our conversational stage that he wanted to give me a hug.
Oh, that's gorgeous. It's a special moment, and I think it's one of those things that it will stay with you forever, but then at the same time, also give you that, I feel like, that understanding and that attention for the public to see that you care so much about it.
Well, I think too, JT also put the spin about it also as well, that I had the sort of shape as a koala bear. And having
Who does?
Oh, JT, also, we're talking about the koala bear, having that shape of a koala bear,
Right.
cuddly. He was going out on stage. And I think maybe Vince might not have the opportunity to hug a koala bear. So the next thing closest to a koala bear is someone else on stage with me. Got, I'll give him a hug. That's my koala bear.
Oh my God, that's so funny. The one thing I wanted to ask you is, how do you find yourself now? So obviously today we are measuring you up for your first on suit. Why are we here? So why did you feel this, do you feel compelled and that need to say, I want to fit into our customers too, and I want to feel in the black?
Well, I think at the day I met the Falcone company at the Vince Vaughn event that day, saw how the presentation of the suit, Vince Vaughn was very happy, appeared very happy on stage, which brings in that the branding, the celebrity authority in your industry, which you are. And I had a chat with you off stage, and I thought you were a fantastic guy. There's not a lot of good people in society, but you are definitely the real deal. And I thought I need to get involved in your company and your suits, like a lot of other people have.
Thank you. No, yeah, definitely. There's definitely been a lot of support, and that is great. The one thing that comes to mind for me, it is that honest and authentic feeling of wanting for you to be your best self.
Yes.
So for me, that is very important. For me, this is not just a suit, and actually the people that you will know in the room that we're in together, they have already had a taste, I guess, of the first corner suits. They can probably tell you the same, that I care very deeply about having you finding your own inner strength, inner confidence, inner image, the way that you see yourself. I want everybody to see that beautiful person out there.
Exactly.
So for me, it's very important that you connect with yourself within, and you really bring that gentleman that's inside of you all along. And I can't, something off the rack most times, it won't do it because you'll feel uncomfortable, you'll feel sweaty, you'll feel not at ease. And I really want to change that and really make you feel your strongest, most powerful version of yourself.
Fantastic.
How does that sound?
That sounds absolutely spectacular.
Yes.
You can get around 365 days a year, you eat, you're cold, It all fits.
That's it. That's it. So, thank you, Greg. Thank you for spending the time with us today. If anybody wants to connect with you, I know that you take care of your own DMs, your own messages, which is incredible because the level of success that you have, it's incredible. But you're learning from the best, and you're learning your mentors.
There is no one better than JT Fox in the world than what he does. And look at both us here today. We wouldn't be here today in this room right now if it wasn't for JT Fox.
There you are. So anybody that wants to connect with you,
Yes.
where will they find you on social?
So I'm on Instagram, Greg Hart. Hart is H-A-R-T, H number 2, H. Or you can connect to our business profile, Your Heart to Heart, also on Instagram and Facebook.
That's amazing.
And we also have our YouTube and podcast channels as well.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I want to be in the podcast.
Oh, have to have you.
No, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. I am incredibly inspired by, in all seriousness, the work that you do. I'm inspired by the movement and the changes that you want to make in the world. It's an incredible honor for me to have the chance and the opportunities to work together.
Absolutely.
Because I know that you're going to do big things, and big things are coming very soon.
For both of us.
For both of us, of course. But I can't wait, and I can't wait to be with you in every step of that journey.
Absolutely.